Before we dive straight into the inner workings of a VPN, it is a good idea to familiarize yourself with the basics of what a VPN is and what it does. The acronym VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. As the name implies, it provides users with a virtual network that is private so that they can connect to the Internet in a way that is safe and secure. Essentially, the ultimate goal of a VPN is to keep your private information private. But how exactly does a VPN do that? A VPN works by routing your device's internet connection through your chosen VPN's private server rather than your Internet Service Provider (ISP), so that when your data is transmitted to the Internet, it comes from the VPN rather than your computer. The VPN acts as an intermediary of sorts as you connect to the Internet, thereby hiding your IP address, the string of numbers your ISP assigns your device, and protecting your identity. Furthermore, if your data is somehow intercepted, it will be unreadable until it reaches its final destination. A VPN creates a private tunnel from your device to the Internet and hides your vital data through something that is known as encryption. The basics of VPN encryption. Encryption is the term used to describe how your data is kept private when using a VPN. Encryption hides information in such a way, basically transforming it to gibberish, that it cannot be read without a very strong password, which is known as a key. This key essentially breaks the complicated code that your data has been turned into. Only your computer and the VPN server know this key. The process of decoding your data is known as decryption, which is the process of making encrypted information readable again through the application of the key. As an everyday example, when you enter your credit card details into a shopping website, that information is encrypted and rendered unreadable until it reaches its end destination. Different VPN services use different kinds of encryption processes, but put simply, the VPN encryption process goes something like this. When you connect to a VPN, it is through a secure tunnel where your data is encoded. This means that your data is transformed into an unreadable code as it travels between your computer and the server of the VPN. Your device is now seen as being on the same local network as your VPN. So your IP address will actually be the IP address of one of your VPN provider's servers. You may browse the Internet as you please, safe in the knowledge that the VPN acts as a barrier, protecting your personal information. How effectively your data is encrypted is dependent on the protocols of your VPN provider's encryption mechanism, which we will talk more about later. What does a VPN do for you? Most people will probably agree that the basic tenets of a VPN are a good thing. Here at Namecheap, we think that internet privacy is more than just a good thing, it's vital to the success of the online world. That said, many people delay getting a VPN, considering it inessential or, worse, unnecessary. They shouldn't. A good way of illustrating the necessity of a VPN is to show just how exposed you are when your internet connection is not encrypted. How data is transferred with and without a VPN, from shopping and paying bills to banking. So many everyday acts are rapidly moving online. As a result, we're transmitting very important information, such as credit card details and social security numbers, day in, day out. By not using a VPN, you're not quite shouting your most sensitive information from the rooftops, but it is a little like leaving your front door open with your personal information conveniently laid out on a table right inside the door. Maybe you have good, honest neighbors that won't come in and take what is valuable. It's natural to want to believe in the goodness of our neighbors. That said, there's a likelihood that one or two of those neighbors will have a more malicious intent. And even if there isn't, do you really want to take that risk by not closing your door and locking it tight? Think of the Internet as a neighborhood, except instead of houses, there is a collection of servers. These servers store the Internet's countless websites and communicate with each other constantly and have access to your data as you browse the Internet. You may not care about some of this data, but you should certainly be worried about more sensitive data like your online banking details. You might think that HTTPS does the job, but it's okay. For the uninitiated, HTTPS secures information communicated between a person's web browser and a website. It is indicated in green the browser address bar and also by a padlock icon. While this does indeed provide added security while web browsing, your data will still be vulnerable, particularly if you're using public Wi-Fi. Going back to our house analogy, it's a bit like closing your front door but failing to lock it. It's better than keeping your front door open, sure, but security definitely could be tighter. Whether you're connected to the internet in public or at home, without a VPN you are exposed to a myriad of vulnerabilities. When you're browsing at home, your ISP can see everything you do and is probably logging it. Places with public Wi-Fi hotspots, such as coffee spots and airports, are very vulnerable to hackers who can easily set up fake but convincing hotspots. On the other hand, when you use a VPN, your data is not exposed. The origin of your data will be your VPN server. By using a VPN, your online actions will not be tracked and logged by ISPs and unsavory hackers, nor will sensitive information be taken. Even if data is intercepted, it is encrypted, so it looks like nonsense to anyone without a decryption key. Common reasons for using a VPN. People use VPNs for countless reasons. Some of these reasons are specific, while some people just have a VPN as another layer of security in addition to a good antivirus program and practicing generally sensible internet usage. As previously mentioned, a common reason to use a VPN is to prevent anyone, from ISPs to public Wi-Fi hotspots, from tracking what you're doing online. Another reason many like to use a VPN is to gain access to region-restricted content, whether that be a TV show on your country's Netflix, or to get around a certain jurisdiction's internet censorship laws. Ultimately, why people use a VPN is to have greater anonymity online. In a day and age where revelations of public data being used in shady ways have become a daily occurrence, keeping private information private is more vital than ever. Key considerations before choosing a VPN. Hopefully, you now have a better idea of how a VPN works. Before we send you on your merry way, here's a checklist of things to look out for before you choose a VPN. Are VPNs legal in your jurisdiction? Where is the VPN server located? Does the company log your activity? Does it protect your whole device or is it just an add-on? What are the protocols of the VPN's encryption mechanism? The number of servers and amount of bandwidth the VPN service has. If both are low, it could make for a very slow web surfing experience. Thanks for watching this video.